So welcome. So for those who are new to Tea and Tarot in the trailer, it just started as something fun through COVID to get us through quarantine, and I've just kept it going. Every 2 weeks we gather and I consult the cards and we just sort of see what's happening. I guess what the vibe is for the week or for the next 2 weeks. So thanks for coming, everyone. Welcome. And I've also kept it going, the Tea and Tarot, because it's an excuse for me to gather trailers. So just to let you all know, I actually ended up selling the Scotty. I was going to park it in my backyard, but I really love the trailer that I'm in right now, and I'll give you guys a tour at the end of today if you want to see it. It's a little bit bigger. It has a bathroom and a kitchen, and I'm pretty much living in it most of the summer. So the other one, I decided to let it go to a home where it would be used more rather than just sitting in someone's yard. So welcome, Tea and Tarot. Anybody have any deck requests? Any favorites that you want me to start with? Let's see. Okay, well, I'm just going to start off with one. I'll just grab a deck, but if there's a certain deck that you know that I have that you love, then you can just let me know if you want to hear from it. Some of the ones that I have today: Saints and Angels, Divine Guidance, Life Purpose Oracle, Fairies, Angel Tarot, Universal Love, Rumi, Romance Angels, Magdalen, and Daily Guidance from Your Angels. And some Angel Tarot. All right, so I feel, you know what, I feel really drawn to the Life Purpose Oracle cards. And I'm wondering how everyone's doing. Is everybody kind of back at work now? I know we've just entered stage 3 in Hamilton, Ontario, so things are, I think yoga studios and gyms are going to be opening up soon, and inside restaurants will be allowed to do that, so that's kind of exciting. But I'm just wondering how everybody's holding up with everything, enjoying summer, hopefully, getting outside. Life Purpose Oracle, so we're getting down to business. So let's see what's happening. Maybe our guides and angels want us to get to work here. Okay, so I pulled the flower card about working with flowers, talking about opening up our heart and also helping to balance our energy. So this is the perfect card to come up this season because it's the perfect time of year, at least in Ontario. There's flowers all over the place, things are blossoming, and flowers are, it's actually really interesting because where I'm staying here, there were these flowers called moonflowers, and I had never heard of them before, and they only bloom at night. And to actually watch a flower be able to open up like that was really magical, because you can't see a flower just open that quickly. Usually you have to record it. So that was really magical for me, and I've always really connected to flowers. And for those of you who are into homeopathic remedies, flower remedies are a really wonderful way to heal your body, heal your energy. They work with the subtle energies of the body. They can heal physical things as well, but for those of you who are very intuitive, very sensitive to things, you might find that flower remedies are really powerful for you. So you can find them in health food stores, you can find them online, you can make your own. There's lots of instructions on how to make your own. I won't get into it too much here, but it's recommended, if you are making your own, that you've had the plant, that you've been growing the plant for at least 4 or 5 years, that it's established in your garden. Makes the energy of the remedies a lot stronger, and also too, if it's your plant and you've been cultivating it, you'll have this nice synergistic relationship with it. But start bringing some flowers into your life for beauty, bringing them inside, bringing some of that outdoor beauty in. Also have a bath with flowers. They do this in Peru a lot. When I lived in the jungle one summer, I would be given flower baths every night. Now, it's not like Bali where you're in a beautiful tub and there's flowers floating all around you. In Peru, they give you this Tupperware container full of dodgy lagoon water with flowers on top that you're supposed to dump over your head, and everything sticks to you, all the bits stick to you, and then you're supposed to sleep like that, so that the energy of the plants work with you in the dream time. So I just wanted to clarify it wasn't a real bath. But at home, it's really nice to run a bath, or if you have a pool and you don't mind throwing bits in your pool, but just throwing some flower petals in there, bringing the energy of flowers, very healing, very gentle, very uplifting. So if you feel like you need some restoration, if you need to be rejuvenated, if you're feeling like your energy's been a bit flagging lately or a bit low, then connect to the flowers. You can also eat a lot of flowers. There are a lot of edible flowers out there, including Rose of Sharon, which I found a few years ago from a friend who's a landscaper and told me that that flower was edible, and I had no idea. A lot of roses are edible. So I don't want anyone to go out there and start eating strange plants. I'm always doing that. I'm okay to do that, but always like look into your plants first before you pop them in your mouth. But there are a lot of edible flowers, and a lot of flowers in our garden that we don't realize are edible. So look into that as well. So try to think this week, how can you incorporate some flowers into your life for healing, for beauty, for just for uplifting, for joy, or to actually ingest them. Throw a few in your salad or in a smoothie. See what happens. All right. Okay. So we'll move on to the next deck. I'm going to, nobody has, Saints and Angels. Okay, Saints and Angels it is. All right. The old Jade requested Saints and Angels. All right, so going to this deck. And we're in a new moon right now, new moon energy. Play music. Well, I guess we're supposed to celebrate, you guys. Flowers, play music, have fun, get out of the house. So music, this card is all about music and bringing music into your life. And that can mean just listening to favorite songs that really uplift you, that make you feel good. It can also include healing sounds. There's a lot of music. We're so lucky to have things like YouTube and a lot of free stuff on the internet. But there are a lot of healing sounds that you can just play in the background or even on low while you sleep at night. That will help restore your energy. That will help heal your body. And it's really interesting when I used to teach Reiki for kids, the little kids. They can get kind of rangy with the energy, like it gets them a little bit wild. And so what I would do is I would play this healing music in the background on a low volume so that you could barely hear it. But when that music was playing, they were calmer, they interacted better, they listened easier. As soon as that music would stop, people would start wrestling and, just running around the room. So it's really interesting how music affects us even when we don't realize it is. And that can include sounds that aren't harmonious to us if we're listening to someone else's music that we don't particularly like, or loud sounds that are disruptive. So just notice over the next week how sound affects you and how music affects you. I like to have always music handy on my phone everywhere I am, because if I'm in a bad mood, I think it's good to have a few ways to uplift your frequency and shift that. And for me, one of those quick and easy free ways is music. So it's remarkable, and there's so much that we haven't even discovered about sound. So I encourage you this week to look at music maybe a bit differently. Maybe if you've just been using music for fun, maybe start looking into finding some healing music for yourself. So, this deck under Saints and Angels. This is Saints and Angels right here. That's the container and that's the deck. Yeah. Okay. So music. So flowers and music. Maybe have a bath with some healing sounds. All right. I feel like I need to go to the Universal Love, which is my favorite deck. Oh, is it cutting in and out? Guys, how's the connection? Because I am on Wi-Fi here, but I can shut it down and switch to data. I just let me know if okay. What should I do here? Okay, so I'm gonna switch. Just hang on. I'll be right back. Is that connection better now? Let me know if this is better, because I just switched to data. Oh, guys, really? Oh, I hate the technical difficulties. Okay, I'm just gonna hover here for a minute and let me know how this is coming in. If you're getting it okay, because what I can do is just move it outside if I have to. Okay. Because I was on Wi-Fi, but because I am in a tin can, sometimes it's a bit So Liz, is it okay on your end? Or does no mean it's not good? I just want to make sure that everyone is okay here before I continue. So just let me know, maybe send me a thumbs up if it's okay. Okay. I did turn off Wi-Fi on the phone. Okay, it's fine now? Okay, I'll continue. But let me know if that happens again. And I'll try moving, or I might move it outside. It's just there's some noise outside, so okay. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so we're going to the Universal Love deck. Okay, and I pulled the Inner Child card. Okay, so this card, for me, I'm not really drawn to the words on this card so much as I'm drawn to the stars. And if you can see, she's got a star on her throat and a star on her third eye. She's also got a flower over her chest. That's really interesting because we were talking about flowers and heart opening, and the rose is often used as that symbol. But this, I'm drawn to the stars in this card, the third eye and the throat chakra. So I'm wondering how all of you are doing with those energy centers right now, because our throat chakra really can have issues when we feel like we can't speak our truth, or we're trying to speak our truth and then the other person isn't understanding what we're saying, and so there can be an interruption in communication with what we're trying to think and express and the actual expression that comes out. And the third eye is how we vision our future and how we create in our lives by creating the blueprint or the template before we actually create in form. So it's really important, our third eye chakra. And it's also how we pick up on everything that's coming at us from the outer world. It's one of our intuitive centers. It's not our only intuitive center. Everyone thinks the third eye is the intuitive center. We have intuitive centers in all of our chakras. That's why people often say things like, oh, I felt it in my gut, or I felt it, in my bones, or I felt it in my body. So that's just one of our intuitive centers. But this is sort of my oldest son, when he was little, he called it the TV screen in his mind, because it's where he would see things before they would happen, or it's where he would get more information about something. It would come to him in terms of pictures. But not everybody is intuitive in a visual way. So this is only one way. But our third eye, we need to keep it clear for creating our future, for moving forward in our future, because whatever you're looking at will expand. So if you think of having a flashlight, imagine you have a flashlight kind of coming out of your forehead here. Whatever you're looking at lights up and expands in your reality. So it doesn't matter what you're looking at. If you're looking at something horrible, if your focus is always on horrible, 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 creating horrible, 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 it will just keep coming in your life. So it's really hard for people when they feel like they're stuck in a rut or stuck in a cycle of energy that's not positive, because they're trying to get out of it, but all they're looking at is the disaster, and you can't get out of it when you're looking at the disaster. So the third eye chakra is really important, especially right now with a lot of stuff happening in the world. Yes, we're out of quarantine, but it's still a strange place, and there is a lot of negativity. There is a lot of a vast array of opinions about what's been happening, and sometimes just even being online and getting the information can put people in a lower frequency, can put them in a bit of a mood. And if you're focusing on that every day, if that's how you're starting your day, your whole day is going to be affected by that. So take breaks from that. You have to put things in front of here that are beautiful, of that are exciting, that are what you're creating, what you want to create in your life, hopeful things. It's important to have that, or you won't shift out of it. Okay, so please think about that moving forward. Imagine there's a light coming out of your third eye, and that whatever you look at is going to expand in your life, and start to kind of monitor yourself a little bit. And if you do need to go into the darkness and look at the things that upset you, then counterbalance that with things that can uplift you as well. And in terms of the throat chakra piece, I think that's going to get a little bit better in the next few days. We were in a Mercury retrograde period, which can make it really challenging for communication, and sometimes things go sideways and awry. So if there is something that you need to say, or that you've been wanting to communicate and you're having trouble finding the words, sometimes writing it out ahead of time can help express. And if you have words to say to someone that you can't actually see in person, maybe they're deceased, maybe there's stuff left unsaid, then journal it. Just write it all out and get it out that way, but don't leave it stuck here. Okay, so I'm just going to do a check-in here to see how everyone's doing with the connection. Is it like Liz is still having trouble with the live feed? Is anybody else experiencing? Liz, can you try popping off and then popping back on again? I wonder if that will help because I reset it. And this will post when we're done. It will post on the Instagram, so hopefully that section you missed will be okay, because on my end it seems fine, but it's hard for me to tell for you guys. So just let me know if it's so. Third eye and throat chakra are our focus for the next week or so. Oh, so you guys are getting choppy connection too. All right, well, let's take this show on the road then. We're gonna move it outside. So I'm gonna bring a couple decks and we'll sit outside. I'll bring Rumi, Divine Guidance, Angels, Guidance. All right, we're going outside. So hang in there. Oh, it's always an adventure with the tea and the tarot. Okay, hold on. It's going to be a bit bangy for a minute here, guys. Just bear with me. And my neighbors will wonder what I'm doing too, but that's okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay. Well, while we're here, I will flip the screen, if I can, and give you a tour of the trailer while we're figuring this out. Okay, so this is the back end, and so I'll be sitting out here and continuing, and there we go, there's the front, and it's got came with a little striped awning. So yeah, please let me know if it's better now that I'm outside. This is so crazy every time we do this, right? Welcome to the trailer park. Oh god, you guys. Okay, I'm actually new to trailer parks. This is the first time I've ever been in a trailer park, but I'm kind of liking it. All right, so we're going to go with the Romance Angels next. I might have to go get my sunglasses. It's a little bright. Oh, and because I don't know if it was just because it had a camper on it, or my mom was commenting on my like switching from one trailer to the other, but she got me this cup for my birthday. Says I sleep around. I don't, but you know, apparently I switch up campers. Okay, good. Everybody, okay, so it's tea and tarot outside the trailer, but it still counts. All right, guys, Romance Angels. Any of you looking for love? They jumped out at me. Playfulness. All right, so again, it's kind of that, it's like the inner child card. It's about having fun, finding that playfulness, finding that, maybe rekindling that spark with someone you're already with by finding those fun things that brought you together in the first place. You know, when was the last time you just laughed so hard you almost peed your pants with your partner, or with the person you're dating, or your husband or wife? You know, it's important to goof around and to find that joy again. And if you feel like your relationship has lost that, you know, you're half the relationship, so you can try and bring it back. Sometimes our partner might seem like they're not engaged in the relationship, but it's also us that's not engaged in it either. And so if we make a little bit of an effort, sometimes our partner will meet that effort. So if you find your relationship sort of flagging right now, or not really what you want it to be, try introducing some playfulness, some joy to it, some spontaneity, you know, do some of those activities you used to do together years ago and just see what happens. They might think it's a bit weird at first, but then they might end up opening up to it. And we've all been through a really hard time, like with this whole COVID thing. It's been really stressful in so many ways, and it's put a lot of pressure on relationships. And so I think it's important to, you know, let's have some fun. It's beautiful, it's July, the weather's great. Let's get out there, have some fun, do some fun things. Find someone to watch the kids if you can, you know, or do a trade with a neighbor or something, just so you can get out, the two of you, have a few moments and do something crazy, do something fun, do something you haven't tried before. Learn something new together. That can be crazy. Oh my gosh, I'm always trying to learn new things, and I end up falling down quite often, which is very entertaining for the people I'm with. So give it a go. Okay? All right. Yeah, Cindy was laughing about the mug my mom got me. I know, right? Like, I didn't know how to take it. I'm like, what is it? What does she mean? And then I'm like, well, maybe she didn't mean anything by it. It just had a camper on it. Oh, goodness. Okay. So this is a fractal deck, and it's really cool because all of the pictures are different. I've used it a few times. So it comes with a book that tells you what the cards mean, but I always just look into the image and tell you what I kind of am drawn to. Now this makes me think of a couple of things. It's almost like a butterfly, but it's also like a gateway, like multiple layers of reality, like going down a tunnel or a wormhole through time. Actually, the more I look at it, it almost looks like a spider as well. So to me, butterflies are about transformation and shifting from one way of being to another. Whenever we have a really big shift in our life where our world used to be one way and then it's a complete different way, that's like a metamorphosis we go through, a transformation, almost like the butterfly starting off as a caterpillar, a squishy little guy with little legs going into the cocoon, and then coming out and all of a sudden has wings and can fly and is drinking flower water instead of, you know, eating leaves. Totally different reality. Same body, but completely transformed. We have the ability to do that too. Maybe we're not going to cocoon up and come out like a completely different physical form, but we have the ability to heal our bodies. We have the ability to heal our mind. We have the ability to make changes in our life and completely switch directions. Even if you feel stuck and trapped, you still have choice. You still have ability to always change that up. So we have that ability of transformation. But we also have the ability of, like, spiders to me are about creativity and weaving that web. And so I think this card is coming up to remind us of the responsibility we have in our own lives. Because a lot of times we can feel like we're victims of circumstance, and we can be like, well, I can't do this because this happened. And we make excuses and we argue for our limitations. But in reality, we are in more control of things than we realize. We're in control of how we react to things. We're in control of our actions and how we go forward in life and what we choose to create. And so you could say, oh, well, this is happening, so I can't do that. Or even COVID. COVID's happening, I can't work, I can't do whatever, it's ruined my life, we're all going to die. I'm not going to participate in life because of that. Well, that's fine, but that's the excuse you're making. Life is still happening, it's still going on. You could still evolve and change and use it as an opportunity for growth or shifting gears or trying something new. Like, there's lots of ways of looking at a situation. So this card is coming up to ask you all to start recognizing your power and your unique ability to create in your life, even in circumstances that feel compressing and restrictive. Okay? You still have choice. You can choose. We sometimes don't want to choose because we don't want to rock the boat and we don't want to hurt people and we don't want to do this and we don't want to do that. But at the end of the day, it's your life, guys. It could be really long or it can be really short. Ask yourself, if you had a year left, what would you change? What would you change about your life? And I don't talk about this too much, but in my 20s, I got really sick and it was, not good. Some of my doctors thought I'd have 2 years. Some are still surprised I'm still here. But I'm telling you, going through that really made me focus on what was important. All the other stuff fell away, and all I could focus on was getting better, my kids, the small things like that. And now, even now, I don't really sweat the small stuff too much. I have moments, but when I make decisions in my life, I try not to hover or hesitate too long. because like it's your life. You know, really is your life. So if you don't like it, or if you don't like part of it, start changing it. You don't have to do a 360 and pull the plug on everything all at once, but little by little, make some little changes, okay? Have the courage to make some little changes. No more arguing for your limitations or blaming your crappy time on circumstances outside of you. You're in more control than you think, okay? All right. I'm going to follow up on you in 2 weeks, and you're going to tell me all the stuff you've done. Now, don't take that as a reason to go blow up everything in your life. Maybe one thing at a time. I don't want to get these emails saying, Kerri told me just to live life, it is short. I left my relationship and my job and grabbed a car and did a Thelma and Louise. Yeah, don't do that. Anyway, okay, so daily guidance. Okay, so this card is about confidence. And it mentions in the card, it doesn't just mean having confidence in yourself. It means having confidence that you're, that the universe has your back. And it really does. Even if you feel you're alone, you're not alone. So if you need to make changes in your life, or you want to make things a bit different, ask your guides and angels for help. They are there all the time, you guys. They're waiting for you to ask them for help. So if you've never done that, please do that. They will help you. They will help bring the people, places, times, and events into your life to help you make the change that you want to make. You can ask them for help with your relationship, for your job, for finding your purpose in life. You can. My favorite thing to do is ask them to make something really clear for me. If I'm really struggling, I'll be like, okay, make it clear, make it in my face that I know absolutely what I'm dealing with here. And when you do that, you get it, but it's clear. So that's an option as well. But this is about having confidence in you, but also confidence in your team that's with you. That's largely invisible to most of you, so you just have to take my word for it. Ask them for help. Don't get freaked out when the magical things start happening, because they will when you ask for help and surrender to that. That's what prayer is. When people pray and ask for help and they're surrendering to that higher power that they know is there, that's them having faith that there's something else other than themselves to help get through life. We have a support network. This place is crazy down here. Are you kidding me? Like, it's like being thrown into a car without knowing how to drive. So there is spiritual support. You just don't have to take it. It's like when you're driving your car, you have that GPS, you have that map, where you have the person sitting passenger side, that's your, navigator. You don't have to listen to them or check the map or GPS. But isn't it great when you're lost for days or years that you actually be like, hey, maybe we should look at a map, right? So, right, in life, if you're struggling, ask for help. Ask for help just to whoever can help you, and it will be spiritual help. It might come in the form of a person, song on the radio, book falls off a shelf at you, someone says something and you're like, that's the thing, okay? Have confidence that you're protected, that you're guided. All right, moving on to Rumi. I love the butterfly analogy too. It's one of my favorites because we forget, like sometimes in our bodies, we forget that we can heal our bodies, or that our bodies can even heal and that they can change that much. But when you look at a caterpillar, when it goes from caterpillar to butterfly, it becomes goo in that cocoon. If you open that cocoon and it's not ready, there's no caterpillar in there, it's just liquid. Like that caterpillar has got such a focus on becoming the butterfly. It's holding that dream so clearly that it can let the body completely go, let everything go to become that new reality of the butterfly. As human beings, we struggle. We never want to give up what we have for something greater that's just over the horizon. We want to see it first. I'll give up this if I can see what's coming over there. We do it all the time. I do it all the time. We do it when we're dating. We don't want to not date that person until we find the new person or whatever. We just don't like to be without something. But in that gap or in that space or in that surrender, that's where the real magic happens. That's where things can really change, because there's nothing anchoring you to the past. But it's scary as heck. Nobody likes the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown that, oh God, it gets people going. That's this whole quarantine COVID situation. Unknown, right? We've never had this happen before. Everything about this is unknown. It's scaring the heck out of people. Hi. People going by and they don't know I do weird shit. Sorry for saying shit. But they don't know about my weirdness. Now my neighbors are going to know about my weirdness because I'm doing this outside the trailer. Thanks a lot, guys. Just laying low. Alright. Rumi Oracle. Divine Mother Manifests. Ooh, nice one. Right? Alright, so we're in a new moon right now, and new moons mean different things to different people. For me, in a new moon, I usually feel a bit like that. Like things are clearing. And then once we come out of the new moon and come into the full moon, that's sort of creating, building, and then go time. About the halfway point is go time for me if I'm going to launch a new project or I have more energy. New moon, I always feel a bit like my energy field's a bit gross. Like I need to triple smudge or something. So I don't know what that's like for you guys, but it's also a great time to think about creating about what you want to bring forward in the next moon cycle. So it's a great time for journaling. It's a great time for reflection. It's a great time for cleaning out closets. It's a great time for letting go of that stuff that doesn't work anymore. So think about some of those things that that you need to free up so that you have more energy and space for the new stuff coming. So this is Divine Mother Manifest, and this is about creating. Okay, and it's about when I talk about creating, I don't ever mean like creating art or creating yeah, I guess so, Liz. Sorry, I'm laughing. She said, take your own advice. Maybe your caterpillar needed to come outside and have people see you. Probably, right? The universe. But I talk a lot about creating, and I don't mean creating art, like if you're not an artist, but we're constantly creating in our lives. We are constantly doing it, even though we don't realize it. Whatever you focus on, you are creating. Okay, that third eye, that light on your third eye, whatever you're looking at expands. So start to consider that over the next 2 weeks, so that everything that you're looking at, sorry, people are walking by, everything that you're looking at is going to expand. So you want to put your energy and your focus on the things that you want more of in your life. So if your life is a disaster, don't look at the disaster. Look at what you want to create. So I used this analogy with a client the other day. Imagine that you bought a property and it has a crappy house on it and you want to tear it down and build a brand new house. Okay, so you do that. You demo the house, you get the land clear, and you've got your architectural drawings for the new house. You're super excited about it. So you're not going to sift through the rubble of the old house, and you're not going to really cry about it because you're not really attached to that. You're sort of focused on the new house you're creating. But in life, we do that all the time. So you have to just let it go. Focus on what you want to create. Don't look at the disaster over here, because that's stuff falling apart, and we need it to fall apart. We have to have it fall apart so that we have a gap to create the new stuff. You can't create new stuff on top of the old crappy stuff. I mean, you can, but it's like putting a house on a foundation that's just going to sink into the swamp. So be okay with letting that old stuff go. Listen, if there's something that's supposed to be in your life, whether it's a person, place, thing, time, or event, a job, whatever it is, if it's meant to be in your life, it will always be in your life. Always. It won't ever go away. I mean, it could fade in and out. Sometimes there's friends you have and you don't see each other all the time, but you don't stop being friends, right? They're still your friend. You just pick up where you left off when you get to see them. Some relationships are like that too. So you have to let the stuff die or the stuff fall apart, or you just have to let it go into chaos. It doesn't mean you have to be in it while it's happening. You can be like, oh, that's nice, that's happening over there, and then look at and focus your energy on creating the new stuff. Let this happen, but don't get in it. Okay, just be the observer and be like, wow, that's really blowing up over there. My whole life just blew up. Interesting. Try to stay positive, because you're not going back there. That's your past. You're going to the future over here and what you're trying to create. The bigger the change, the more chaos. So if you ever have a period in your life where everything, literally, the shit hits the fan, that's good. That means all that change you've been asking for is manifesting. So don't lose your focus. That's not when you lose your focus. That's when you double down. You double down your focus, because you're like, whoa, the universe is preparing me for the new stuff. Focus on the new stuff. If your body's unwell, it's full of problems, don't focus on the problems. Picture your body, imagine it in perfect health. Focus on creating that. Do everything to pull you towards that. Make different food choices. Make different healthy living choices. See your body in perfect health. Focus on that. Make plans for the future. See yourself in the future in those plans so that you meet them. Don't look at the body falling apart and give energy and focus to the things you don't want to create. Okay? That's my advice for the week to come. I've gone through all the decks out here, but I feel like we need one more. So I'm going to go grab a couple more decks, okay? Hang on. Okay. I just shut my screen. I had a fly dive bombing me last night, woke me up at 5 a.m. I mean, I love flies, but I don't know why they have to like come and get you when you're sleeping. Okay, so I've got Magdalen and the Fairy Oracle. I feel like we need to keep going. I know I lost some of you there with the bad connection earlier, so let's do Magdalen. And I hope that if you're working or whatever you're doing, that you can take some time this summer, like a week or two off, where you can just enjoy nature, whether it's your backyard or a park or, you know, camping, right? I used to always camp in a tent, so now that I'm in a camper, this is like a 5-star for me, and it's the smallest camper in the park. My neighbors across the street have a TV in the side of their camper. I've never seen that before. They're all laughing at me. They think I'm ridiculous because I was like, oh my God, you have a TV inside your camper. My camper bathroom is so small. It's smaller than an airplane bathroom. You have to get like little, anyway. I'm sharing too much, obviously. Okay, so this card is called the Judgement, but not in a bad way. You look at all that light there. See all that golden light, and there's some green light and some orange light there. It's all sacral, solar plexus, and heart. All those energies. Light coming in there. And judgment not being like someone judging you for doing something bad, but more like discernment. Okay? So looking at what you're creating, what you love. And for some people it's hard. They're like, well, Kerri, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know what I love. I don't even know what I want to do anymore. And that can happen when you've been living your life for other people. And it's not a bad thing. Like being a mom, it's like 20 years living your life for other people at least. So when you come out the other side of something like that, you might not even know anymore who you are or what you want or where to start. So just finding that out and just discovering that about yourself can be really fun. It can be really scary. But just try new things, try everything. I always, I try to learn something new every year. I think it's good, it challenges me. It doesn't always stay with me. I don't always keep it up, unfortunately. Like when you learn a musical instrument, sometimes people practice it over time and get really, really good at it. And, you know, I've never really kept the momentum up with anything like that. But every year I try and learn something new. Sometimes it stays with me, sometimes it doesn't. This year was supposed to be sailing, but unfortunately I have to wait probably till next year because of everything. But I will tell you, I'm not giving up on it because a lot of my neighbors have sailboats. So as soon as everyone's less fearful, I'm sure somebody here will teach me how to sail. I'm gonna make it happen. So even if the circumstances seem impossible, keep trying. So having that judgment, having that discernment for what's working for you, what's not working for you. Okay, and we can change that all the time. Just because you choose a line of career and you're like, this is my job, this is my career, I'm going down this path, it doesn't mean you have to keep it forever. Like you can shift it, you can change it as you need to. We can say no to things, we can change our mind. I think sometimes we forget we can do that. Sometimes when we stay too long with something that's not right for us, whether it's a job or relationship or whatever it is, it will start to get, it'll turn ugly. It'll start going downhill, and then if you stay in it too long, it'll just start getting really, really bad. And it's not like the universe punishing us, it's just the universe saying, would you get out of the nest already? Would you just get out of this situation and shift into something new? So if you're dragging your heels on something and it keeps getting worse and worse and worse, that's a sign saying, you know what, it's time to take that leap. So, okay. we're going to end with the fairies. And I hope you guys are doing okay. So I'm going to start seeing clients again in person in August. In Dundas, I've moved my office closer to home. There's 2 locations. I'll be seeing people in a yoga studio, in a treatment room in a yoga studio, and also in my home. It's a bit delayed in my home because I'm having landscaping done, and so I have no step to even get into my house. You'd have to high jump into my house. But sometime in August, the treatment room in my house will be ready, and I'm excited about that because I'm going to have a larger shopping area. But so that's some changes that's happening with me. But I'm still doing distance appointments. So if you need to see me before then, we can do something over the phone or over Skype. That's not a problem. I can't wait to go for a massage. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so this card is about looking inside yourself. That's what the words say, but I'm more drawn to the picture here. So if you see this girl, she's kind of on a spider web. She's on a spider web, and she's opening up this circle here. And her leg is up. It's like she's going foot first into this circle. And to me, that circle represents the unknown, or what she's creating. And the web, it's all about weaving the web. Spiders are amazing. They weave these beautiful, intricate webs. And if I had to use an analogy for life in general, like how this place works energetically and otherwise, I would use a spider web to explain it, because we're constantly weaving our life. And I think that's why I love textiles so much, because it's like a reminder of that. We're constantly weaving our life. There's so many threads, and some of the people, places, things, times, and events in our life are some of those threads, and they all come together and create this beautiful weave. But because we all have free will, we can choose to participate in a weave or not, right? So it's like this co-creation that's constantly happening and being woven. And when I do sessions with people and I'm reading into the future, I'm looking at what's in the weave, what's probably going to weave together. But sometimes I can see things that are potential that may or may not. The reason why it's potential is because it might depend on other people. And because everyone has free will, if they haven't made a choice yet, it's hard to read that future timeline with certainty. Things like birth and death, like that's up to the soul. And so sometimes that can be really hard to predict exact timing on those things, because people are still, they're choosing. So this is about you weaving the web of your creation. What are you creating? What are you weaving? What are you making? And how some things are destined to happen, and we can't do too much about it. It's the way it is. But we have a lot of choice. We have a lot of creativity in there. We've got the threads. We get to make the beautiful pattern. We get to choose. So it's not just like life's happening to us and everything's happening to us. We are a participant. You don't have to participate. You can just go on autopilot. You'll still get somewhere. But when you can put your intention and energy on the weave and co-create with spirit, that's beautiful. That's when really cool things happen. So you've got the power and ability to do that. And it's up to you if you want to start integrating that into your life, start implementing your free will and choice. Okay? So I think the message overall today is about not being or not feeling like a victim of circumstance. I know we've been through a lot, and it's easy to feel victimized by it. It's easy to be afraid and concerned about the future with all of the things we've been through. But this is Spirit reminding us that we're powerful beings. We have choice. We have the ability to create beautiful, lasting change in our lives. We can't control everything that's happening around us, but we can control how we handle it and how we go forward with it and how we relate to other people and interact with other people. So it's really important. It's really true, that saying that you can't change the world until you change yourself, or be the change that you want to see in the world. It's so true. If everyone just took care of this, even a little bit, we would be in amazing shape worldwide. Okay? So yes, please change the world. Like, do whatever you can to make it more positive. Absolutely. But also recognize your power and your ability to affect great change, and don't discount that. Okay? So if you're feeling victimized, if you're feeling beaten down, that's okay. Take a day, have a flower bath, you know, do something nice for yourself. And then the next day, get that book out, start journaling, start making plans. And if you don't know how to get from A to B, then ask for help, ask the universe for help. And then you'll start bumping into people who can help you with stuff. It's amazing how that happens. And if you don't have money, like this happens all the time. I had a Reiki student once, she wanted a massage table. She couldn't go out and buy it. She put an ad that she'd give free Reiki for a massage table. She had 3 people offer tables to her. I know other people who've done trades with graphic designers for stuff. They needed a business card. They needed this. They needed that. Like, you know, I know that the world operates on money and stuff, but it's still fun to do trades for things. And there's websites where you can even trade things out of your house. So get creative, you know? Think about where you are, where you want to be. How do you get from A to B? And if you don't know how to get from A to B, ask for help or get creative. Start talking to people. Start talking about things. Try some new things. You're not going to solve a problem at the same level you created it. So the solution is not in your frequency. So you have to ask for help or try something different to get a different result. It's so true. All right? So I don't know what you guys are going to do in the next 2 weeks, but it sure as heck isn't going to be sitting around crying in your cornflakes. Right? So maybe we'll be doing this outside in 2 weeks because I think it's something about being in a tin can. It's just not, the Wi-Fi doesn't jive. So hopefully the recording isn't too messed up. But thank you for tuning in and being patient, and especially 2 weeks ago where I think I got tossed off around 5 times. So I'm grateful that this was at least somewhat seamless. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can message me on here or email me through the website. But yeah, just enjoy the next little bit. Summer is so short here in Ontario, so make the most of it. Take some time, especially if you've been working like a crazy person. Try and take some time off. All right? Okay, I love you guys. Oh, I'm going to give you more of a tour. So for those of you who want to hang out a bit longer, I'm going to walk around the whole trailer. I'll show you the whole deal. All right. So I came from Manitoba the end of June, and then I put these wings on the back. And it was very tricky, and I messed it up. If I get closer, you'll see how I messed it up. Oh, there's my hula hoop under the trailer. Sometimes I hoop. That was one of the things I learned, but I'm not very good at it. But it was 1 year, that was my thing. I wanted to try hula hooping. And then the trailer is little. I have a little area here. And then I have a mermaid tail floaty thing, because why not? So, and now we'll go in. Okay, so it's got black and white checkered floor. Because they built this, it's exactly like a 1961, but it was actually built in 2015, so it's newer. It's got some funky curtains. This is actually a dinette where there's a table and a bench, but I keep it set up as a bed because I'm too lazy to keep, shifting it. And there's my little reading corner. And then there's a back bench here that folds into a bed for like miniature people. I don't know who could sleep on that. But anyway, but there's pretty good storage. It's all right. And it's got a fridge, like pretty good sized fridge, and a stove and a microwave, which I don't ever use. But it's there. And then the bathroom's super tiny. Like how little it is. And yeah, this is the shower in here too, which, to be honest, I just jump in the lake. Or I go home every now and then. And then I named the trailer Little Wing after the Jimi Hendrix song. So I put some lyrics there. The heart's from Sayulita. Mermaid Girl from Sayulita. And then I've got this fan, which thank God for this fan. There's also a fan up here, but it's been hot. And that's a little radio. I brought my cat here, and he almost died because I brought him here during the heat wave. So anyway, yeah, so it's good to see you guys, and have fun out there. Learn something new this summer. And if anyone has a sailboat and wants to teach me how to sail, I will teach you how to hula hoop in exchange. Okay. All right. Bye everyone. Love you guys.